Have you ever made a big purchase decision and almost immediately started to regret it? You didn't go into debt, you technically had the money for it, so why did it still feel uncomfortable? Hi there, I'm Kopp, CPA and financial coach here at Verde Capital Management. And I want to talk to you today about money decisions and how the regret you might be feeling isn't really about the amount that you're spending, it's coming from how you made the decision. Here's an example, and maybe you've done this before. You see a great deal on something that might be a little bit pricey, and then you quickly pull the trigger. You make good money, so it's like, what's the big deal, right? You go home, you put your head on the pillow, and then suddenly the questions start racing. Should I have bought that? Should I have waited? Was that the smartest move? Did you have the money for it? Yes. Did you have to go into debt for it? No. Go ahead and drop a yep in the comments if you ever made a big purchase decision and then regretted it later. The reason why you're second guessing yourself is because of the intentionality behind the decision that you made. You want to be intentional with your money. You want to make good financial decisions that set you up for success. The reason why you're feeling like this is because there was no decision process. There was just a reaction. The missing piece was the decision system, not the money that you spent. Regret comes from that lack of alignment where we don't give something a second thought. And when we do that, we can set ourselves up to feel pretty out of alignment very quickly. And it's not just about spending, it's also about selling and making these bigger financial decisions. The decision might not ruin you financially, but because we didn't run it through a decision filter, that's where we can feel unsettled. And that's exactly what a decision system is built for. It helps you zoom out so you don't just see if the decision is possible, you can decide if it's purposeful and aligned with your life. The greater plan isn't just about what you can afford now, it's about whether it fits into the bigger picture of where you're going and where you want to be. As a financial coach, I help my clients walk through my H.O.P.E method to give them a bigger picture of where they're at with their money. I won't go into detail on everything that goes into that session right now, more to come on the next video, but I do want to highlight one item that's in that H.O.P.E framework, and that's the P, planning for unexpected expenses. A simple explanation of this concept is something called sinking funds. A sinking fund is a savings for a future expense, and the key element in sinking funds is planning. Sinking funds not only help you with cash flow so that you're not caught off guard when those random expenses come up, but it also provides you peace of mind because you've planned for it already. Let me explain. We're in summer right now, but when school starts up again, you're gonna have a lot of purchases to make for your kids. There's school fees, kids' clothes, school supplies, extracurricular sign-ups, so many things to get prepared for school. Every year this happens, and every year we have more or less a general idea of how much it's going to cost. What if we plan for these expenses well in advance so that when school year started, instead of dropping a few hundred or even $1,000 on all of these expenses, we actually already saved for them, and then we have the money sitting in our bank account waiting for us to use them. All you do is you make the purchase and reimburse yourself from your sinking funds account. What you did on the back end was every single month you started saving. Depending on how much you need, you figure out what a monthly amount would be to be able to have that money by the time that expense rolls around. Without planning for these bigger expense items, months can feel really chaotic and very spendy, even for high income earners. Go ahead and think of another expense, maybe like Christmas coming up. I know it's still a while away, but let's walk this out. The holidays are 5 months away and there's going to be a lot of expenses coming up. Come up with an estimate on how much you think you're going to spend and divide that number by 5 so you can save that amount for the next 5 months. Then when December comes around, you're going to have a fully funded Christmas budget. And think about how next year you're going to feel when you've saved every single month for a whole year. You're going to have a really nice budget that didn't affect your cash flow at all and completely remove the stress. When you plan ahead for these big purchases and expenses, now you can actually feel guilt-free and stress-free when you actually spend the money. When you see that shiny new electronic or that new mattress that you've been waiting to get on sale, you can drop the few $1,000s that you've been saving for every month because you actually made a decision, planned for it, and now you have the money for it sitting, waiting for you to use. You can have a sinking fund for literally everything. Annual bills, travel, kids' activities, and even have a miscellaneous bucket for all those spur-of-the-moment ideas. Because guess what? Now they're not spur of the moment, they're actually planned for. Remember, regret a lot of times comes from moving too fast. I had a client who just told me the story of how they needed to replace their back door. They could have just gone out to Menards or Home Depot, bought the door, had the labor cost, and have the door really quickly. However, they slowed down and did the research. They called multiple people for different quotes. They looked at every option they could find. It took months of research and planning, and when it finally came down to making the decision, instead of spending the $5,000 that they got quoted for multiple places, they were actually able to do the project themselves for only $600, and they felt great about it. They had the $5,000 to spend, but after taking a moment, they realized they could use the extra money to do something else that they actually wanted to do, like travel. So many of my clients love to travel, and to have the money to be able to do the things that they love, that's what makes the difference. It's about making a decision, planning for it, doing the research, and picking something that feels right for you. This is why I advise all my clients when a big decision comes up, you need to pause and do some homework. Don't just ask, can I do this? Ask, is it the right time? Have I weighed the trade-offs? Is there a better way to go about this? And feel free to ask your financial team. A lot of times people forget that their financial advisor and financial coach are on their side and they are there to help them with any decision that they have to make. So make sure you have smart thinking backed behind those spontaneous moments. Having a decision system matters not just for spending, but any financial move. When you slow down long enough to run it through a framework, you walk away with confidence and not regret. And that's exactly what I built in my H.O.P.E framework. I'm going to walk you through the full system, how my clients plan smarter, spend with purpose, and actually feel good about their money. It's simple but powerful, and I think it'll give you a whole new way to look at your money.